redwood forest, Gulf Stream water, a stallion, wild big country sky, a cactus sculptured widow prairie, on New York rain and Texas dry, frontier boom towns of displacement, scorner patriotic wind, your money bearing Rushmore's giants, but your dollar's paper thin. I'm lonely like America, this land of less and more, and I am lonely like America, this a mythic Graceland tour, and the pioneers and racketeers, the sepia wagon train across the Midwest plain. Only like America, lonely like America. On Norma Desmond's with a mansion, Travis Bickle's raging streets, on Martin Luther King's last journey from Memphis for that mercy seat, But now the curse of Steinbeck's offspring, the poor foreclosed and left to bleed, a wounded bear, a tethered eagle, are in a cage of make-believe. Lonely like America, this land of less and more, and I am lonely like America, with a Graceland tour, and the pioneers and racketeers and the sepia wagon train across that Midwest plain. Lonely like America, lonely like America. But I know you've seen the mountain, you breathe the words of destiny, Abe Lincoln calling to this great nation to ring the bell of liberty, to ring the bells of liberty, and to ring it out for you and me. 'Cause we are lonely like America, this land of less and more, and I am lonely like America, this a mythic Graceland tour, and the pioneers and racketeers, the sepia wagon train across that Midwest plain. Lonely like America, the hustler and the free. Lonely like America, from sea to shining sea. The flag that's draped around the brave, stars and stripes of deep dismay, simply not having a nice day. We are lonely America, lonely like America, lonely like America. Lonely like America.
Hi, I'm Monica Mansfield, and you're watching Mostly Rock and Roll. It is a huge delight to have MartynJoseph with us today from Wales, visiting and touring in the United States. Martyn, it is just wonderful to have you here. We have had a wonderful show with you, and I've heard so much about you from shared music circles about how terrific of a musician you are. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure, Monica. I'm very happy to be here.
It's been just a joy to hear the ravings of people who have seen you and first learned about you at different festivals. You were just at the Folk Alliance, and I know of others who have heard you at large festivals where you're in front of a large crowd. Do you have preferences as to what type of venues that you play? Do you enjoy the huge, large crowds like that, or do you prefer intimate settings?
They're all equally a challenge and not a challenge in the sense. It's still about trying to make a connection with people no matter what you're doing. And in some ways that can be harder perhaps with a smaller group of people. For the artist, perhaps not for the people because they think this is really intimate, but you're trying to still make something big happen, as it were. So so that they're both, I certainly don't mind playing in front of big crowds. And some of the most memorable nights in the past 30 years have actually been in front of 75 people or whatever it might be. So I think it's all a privilege, and I enjoy the challenge of it all.
Terrific. Well, you are such a prolific writer, and you have 32 CDs out or so, 34 or something like that?
Something like that. I wouldn't want you to listen to all of them. But yeah, it's been some time now. Yeah.
That's like one a year,
well,
or a
yes,
couple a year?
Some of those are live albums and compilation. It's about 20 studio albums, and as I said, some of the early work. Yeah, I have been doing it a long time. It doesn't feel that I have, but it is a long time now, yeah.
That's really a big benefit to you in the sense that you have been able to see probably yourself grow over the years too, but what you bring to the songs is a lot of workings through of things you're going through at the time when you write?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you say you see yourself grow, I think that's the job really, is to document life. Certainly in the groove that I'm in as far as the arts are concerned, you know, that I feel that a good song tells us that we're not alone in the world, or a good painting, or a film that we go and see. You know, you leave the cinema with that sense of, come on, you know, whatever it might be. And I guess what I try to do is articulate, yes, my own journey, but those things that you see around you, and without sounding too conceited or whatever, I think that's the job of the artist, to try and interpret the times, to try and interpret events, so that people who do other things far better than I can feel inspired, and that they don't literally walk on their own, as it were, you know. And that's my favorite pieces of music always do that to me, you know, that they encourage you, they tell you that you've got to keep fighting, you've got to keep going, that others have experienced that too, it's a common ground thing, we have community, all of those sort of things. So for me, songwriting is about articulating those things as best one possibly can, and being honest, not adding to the noise, because there's so much noise in that mainstream. And you know, if you want to have a hit record, the chances are you're going to add to the noise. But if you want to perhaps make something that's actually going to go a little deeper than that, then passion, integrity, honesty. Those are the things that I'm looking for, certainly, when I'm listening to music.
Your beauty steals everything, runs through me. Am I alone? This island, I'm so frightened, for I am that prodigal, and I can't run home. And why can't I There's so much more now, yes, I saw it written under the moon and the sun, and your beauty steals everything, yes it does. And when you wrap yourself around me, am I alone? And why can't why can't falling down? You wrap yourself around me. Am I alone?
When did you know that you wanted to play guitar, and what do you remember some things about your first guitar teacher?
Gosh. Well, I remember watching Glenn Campbell in about 1970. I would have been 10 years old at the time. And he had a hit with a record called Honey Come Back. I remember he had one of those jackets with, do you remember the strings that used to, the thongs used to sort of hang down? And he had the Ovation guitar, and he was on Top of the Pops in the UK. And I remember thinking, God, I'd like to play one of those guitars. And I remember one of our teachers in school had a guitar. So I expressed an interest in it when I was 10 years old, and that's when my dad bought me, or my parents bought me a guitar for Christmas. But they also joined me at the local golf club, and there's a bit of a difference there. But actually, my main love for most of my teenage years was my passion was the sport of golf, and I got quite good at that at an early age. But if I was going to play guitar, my dad insisted I have lessons, and I remember going to the Spanish Guitar Centre in Cardiff in Wales, which is now a lawyer's office or something, but I often drive past there still, and remember my dad picking me up on the corner on Monday nights at 6 o'clock with my Spanish classical guitar, where I used to, adopt the pose with the thumb that never showed and play all those lovely classical pieces, and that gave me a real good grounding. So I asked after my teacher, and sadly he's no longer with us, but I remember he was a very friendly man with a big beard, and he would write in pencil on my piece of music and tell me where I was going wrong, and that was a long time ago.
Do you think he knows that you became a professional?
I don't know. I have no idea, in all honesty, because I didn't see him. Probably I stopped taking lessons when I was about 13, 14, so I didn't see him from that day on. That would have been nice. I hope he did. I hope he did.
So you are from Cardiff in Wales,
Yeah.
and that's the capital, the
It
largest
is.
city there?
Yeah, it's about 750,000. It's not big by American standards by any means, but that is, we've only got, I think it's 1.5 million people in the whole of Wales anyway. It's attached onto the left-hand side of the UK.
And how do you say it in your accent?
Wales?
No, Cardiff.
Oh, Cardiff. Well, the Welsh is Caerdydd. So lots of spitting going on, Caerdydd, but I would just say Cardiff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is beautiful about your city? Should people come visit?
Oh, they should. A few years ago, it was the fastest growing developed city in Europe. It's really grown a lot. There's a great consensus of the arts there. We're sport mad. We love our rugby. That's the big national sport in Wales.
Go Devils.
Yeah, go Devils. That's the ice hockey. Yeah, thank you very much. It's it's right by the water, thousands of years of history, castles, it's all there.
Castles?
Yeah.
So do you ever walk through and tour any of the castles?
I've done most of them, yeah, you look at them, we gotta get used to them. I know you guys don't have many castles over here, but, and we have beautiful national parks, the Snowdonia National Park and the Brecon Beacons. It's a beautiful little mini kind of country, really. Yeah, it's about the size of Israel. As I say, yeah. We have a Welsh word called hiriaeth, which means the longing of the soul to go home, a love of the land. And Welsh people, we feel that we're very much in love with our land, you know.
On the trading floor they use Ouija boards, and none of them are falling on their swords. Discretion's in an isolation ward, it's not the season to be blessed. And the cards are marked in every deal, liar's poker and the roulette wheel. Even Midas is looking down at heel, a far cry from being blessed. Rebellion and surrender, betrayal and retreat, from mention and dispatches to vainglorious defeat. With our high-tech sling and arrow, we still repeatedly shell the perfect ripened vineyard and scorch the olive tree. Yeah. I was looking for some good advice. I can't afford the wise man's asking price. Join me in the throwing of the dice, the hit and miss to being blessed. Far beyond this planet's not yet named, countless crowns of stars that can't be tamed. If this is all there is, this has been claimed. I'll take a bet on being blessed. Rebellion and surrender, betrayal and retreat, from mention in dispatches to vainglorious defeat. With our high-tech sling and arrow, we still repeatedly shell the perfect ripened vineyard and scorch the olive tree. These are strange days to be an optimist. Solomon is derided and dismissed. I thought I heard some angels getting pissed, remembering the days when they were blessed. But that sun remains an adoration flame, despite what the dungeon days proclaim. And the desert winds contain the secret name. Watch for storms of being blessed. Rebellion and surrender, betrayal and retreat, from mention and dispatches and vainglorious defeat. With our high-tech sling and arrow, we still repeatedly shell a perfect ripened vineyard and scorch the olive tree. Rebellion and surrender, betrayal and retreats, from mention and dispatches to vainglorious defeat. With our high-tech sling and arrow, we still repeatedly shell a perfect ripened vineyard and scorch the olive tree. Shell a perfect ripened vineyard and scorch the olive tree.
If you were to have a big hang with one of your musical heroes, Bruce Springsteen, what burning questions would you have for him? Or maybe you have had a hang with him.
Well, I had the opportunity as such some years ago where we were sort of in the same room because I used to be signed to the same record label. And I had this conundrum in my head about, I've met, quite a few of these sort of, big famous people, but Bruce has certainly been a very important artist in my life. And I said to myself, whatever you say right now, whatever you say, it will be wrong. And so I didn't, and I'm really glad I didn't, because I would be regretting whatever I said. It's like, well, I play too, or
when I met Ian Anderson, I told him, well, my son plays flute. Like,
there you go. I know. You say the most stupid things.
Right.
So if that's to happen in the future, very nice. But I didn't want to spoil that moment, and he's surrounded by people and all that sort of stuff. So I think you should perhaps never meet your heroes, because they perhaps won't be your heroes. Although I doubt it. I've heard so many great things about Bruce, and I'm really enjoying reading the latest biography on him. So I'd love to sit down one day and talk and express my gratitude.
And Bruce Coburn's been huge to you too.
Bruce is a good friend, yeah.
Nice.
Bruce that's a Bruce I have met and hung out with, and yeah, Bruce Coburn is an astonishing musician, a complete artist of the guitar. I watch him and I want to retire as a guitar player, you know, and as much as many of the Canadian artists like Joni Mitchell and Leonard Cohen, that poetry, that insight is you know, they seem to have that handle on things, and Bruce Coburn is a terrific poet, and again, you know, when you have artists like that who articulate that journey for you, it's priceless. It really is, when, you know, because you can go to that any time and realize that you know, that someone's on your side.
I want you brave, I need you brave, I want you strong, sing along, you are beautiful, and I'm not wrong. And even today this timeline will be fine, enough for us to find a path ahead, and let it all roll on. But if you're drifting away, if it's falling apart, just let yourself be quietly drawn by the stronger call of what you really love. Just let your soul, the one that you brought with you safe to this moment in time, to whisper to your fears and wrestle with the noise of this night for you. If we could just step outside, look at ourselves for a moment, we might see there's a different way we can be. Do not expect to find all the answers of this world, 'cause if you could somehow and then you did, well, who the hell would you be? But if you're drifting away, is it falling apart? Just let yourself be quietly drawn by the stronger call of what you really love. Just let your soul, that's the one that you brought with you safe to this moment in time, whisper to your fears and wrestle with the noise of this night for you. And in the midst of these moments, well, it's like we've never left. But in a lifetime of returning, we're not home yet. We're not home yet. I need you brave, I want you brave, I need you strong. Sing along, you are so beautiful, I am not wrong. And you can bring it on, world, you throw everything, 'cause in the end love wins big, and there are some of us who will not be lying down. If you're drifting away, if it's falling apart, just let yourself quietly drawn by the stronger call of what you really love now. Just let your soul, that's the one that you brought with you safe to this moment in time. Let it whisper to your fears and wrestle with the noise of this night. May it whisper to your fear, may it wrestle with the noise of this night for you.
Can you tell us about your CDs? This is your most recent one, Songs for the Coming Home. And how long has this one been out?
That's only been out a few months, since about November last year. That
Fabulous.
came out.
Yeah, everyone should get this. And then these are some of your, you have so many. I mean, if we go on your website, you know, we will see them and be able to scroll down. But Under the Lemonade Skies.
Under Lemonade Skies,
Under
yeah.
Lemonade Skies, sorry.
Yeah, these are the live albums. Let me help you here. That's Vegas. That one, that's okay. That's a live album. This is an album called
treasure.
Evolved. I went over and sometimes we record songs far too quickly as artists. We get all excited and we go into the studio and we start recording. And I felt that I sang these songs so much better after years of, I do about 160 shows a year, so you really play these songs a lot. So I wanted to re-record them, and we went into the studio and re-recorded a bunch of these songs. And it's just me and the guitar, as we did today. And this is kind of my business card, I suppose. That's what I put in people's hands. But Songs for the Coming Home is a special record for me. This was finished last November, and I think that for me personally, that's my favorite record I ever made.
That's nice.
Yeah, so far.
That's really nice.
It's not a good time for God. It's not a good time. Atheists deplore him, hedonists ignore him, men with bombs adore him. Agnostics rarely need him, think tanks never heed unorthodoxy creeds him. It's not a good time for God. Not a good time. Yeah. Singing alle, 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 Allah. Singing alle, 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 Allah. It's not a good time for God. Not a good time. The right wing have defaced, the left wing have displaced, and bigotry's disgraced him. Apocalyptics claim, prosperous preachers tame, perverted clerics shame him. It's not a good time for God. No, 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 no. Singing alle, 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 Allah. Singing alle, 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 Allah. It's not a good time for God. It's not a good time right now. Fashion sanitized, styles accessorized, robes and rings disguised. Mysticism hides, sophisticates to ride, evolution chides him. And the empty church is lost him, close friends double-crossed him, the crucifixion cost him. It's never been a good time for God. It's not a good time. Singing alle, 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 Allah. Singing alle, 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 Allah. Yeah, yeah. Singing alle, 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 Allah. Singing alle, 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 Allah.
Martin, I need to thank you so much for coming, spending
Pleasure.
your day here with us. It was
pleasure.
a delight, a true delight, and time flew by really, really quickly.
Yeah.
And we thank you. And please come back to Boston area. We
I
would
will.
love to have you around, and
will.
we'll promote you and keep up all the great work.
I'll try. Thanks, Monica.
Thanks.
Thank you.